be this a match once again. Welcome back to another video. This is another paid request from someone who actually wants to remain anonymous, which I have no issues with that. If anyone wants to send a paid request and you want to be anonymous, just let me know. Whether on PayPal you can actually send a message, feel free. So if you again, if anyone wants to send a request to pretty much any type of video, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. And if you want your name said, feel free. If you don't want your name said, that's fine as well. But all those links will always be under the video in the info box. By the way, this is for the 2013 film Where, W-E-R. And again, I apologize for my sickness and my clearing my throat and my coughing. That's why I'm drinking a lot more water during these, so I apologize for that. Sitting is pretty much gone, but the cough is still there. Now, I did not know what this film was. Obviously, the title made me think, okay, it's a werewolf film, but I'd never heard of this movie. And then when I saw that it was from the director who did The Devil Inside My Ass, I went, oh my god, this is going to be a train wreck. It's from the people who did The Devil Inside? The movie that didn't even have an ending? That the literal ending is, the movie stops, go to a website. Here's a website link. The Devil Inside My Asshole, as I call it. I'm like, oh my god. I forget what the hell else they did. But I will say, this was night and day. Now, I'm not going to say this movie's perfect. But man, they did a big bump up in quality compared to Devil Inside. And this was a pretty decent werewolf film, I gotta say. One thing that was kind of screwy was that it's kind of found footage, but it's not found footage. That was a bit weird. I kind of wish they picked one or the other. Because there's some bits that are found footage. Either it's like news reports or it's security cameras. But then other times it's just we're following the characters and the camera acts as if it's found footage, but it's not. Because the camera, you know, kind of has, you know, this thing here, you know, kind of moving like this. Like I said, they should have just picked one or the other. That trying to be, it's found footage, but then you make it look like found footage, but it's not found footage in a lot of scenes. It just has this wonky feeling to it. I don't think it works 100%. People who don't like found footage, they don't look at this and they don't think it's found footage. And even if when you realize it's not, they don't like that aesthetic. So you don't turn those people off. And then people who are really into found footage, they kind of just wish it was just a full-fledged beginning and end one. So yeah, I don't know why they did that. But sorry, I thought the film was competently acted. I thought some of the makeup was decent. There is some crappy CGI. I didn't mind the story. I didn't mind the setup. This woman and her family are attacked in France. It's an American woman. Her husband and son are killed. And the French police have gotten this suspect named Talon. And so this American human rights lawyer, played by A.J. Cook, which I thought she did a decent enough job. Her, this animal expert, Dr. Gavin, which you could tell they had a little bit of a fling in the past. And then this other guy, the three of them are investigating to see Like, hey, they arrested this guy and they have barely any proof, and there's conflicting stories. Was it an animal? Was it not an animal? Again, if with the title, we know what the hell it is, but again, with the movie. And so it's a chunk of the first half is these three trying to prove the innocence of this guy. Almost as if they're trying to do an exorcism of Emily Rose with a werewolf aspect instead of a demon aspect. Which I don't mind that idea, and like I said, the acting wasn't that bad, and like there's a bit where the woman in the hospital, she turns, there's a decent makeup effect, like her eyes missing and stuff. The movie went in a decent enough place. They do an autopsy on the bodies, they go to see this guy's mother, you find out there's a bit of dealings with the police that maybe Talon's father was killed under circumstances from the police because the land is being wanted. You're learning a bit more and more as to what's going on. Some people might be bored by the slow burn, but I didn't think it was that slow. I thought it was decent enough with... I wouldn't say the characters were that striking, but the acting was, again, competent. It was decently acted. It was a curious enough, different take on a werewolf film for me to wonder, because there's a lot of shitty werewolf films out there. I love Dog Soldiers. I know there's a 4K. I would like to get it, but I want to make sure that it's actually worth this crap, because the last time I got one from Stream Factory, that Blu-ray sucked. But Dog Soldiers is my favorite werewolf film, and I love that movie. That's why I want to wait and know that it's worth the crap, the picture quality. Unlike that Blu-ray, because that sucked. Love Dog Soldiers. I like this one called Late Phases. Stephen King's Silver Bullet I like. Trying to think of full werewolf movies. Full Eclipse was a fun one with Mario Van Peebles. I liked Bad Moon with Michael Pare. Yeah, I would say Dog Soldier is my favorite. Yeah, and Stephen King's Silver Bullet. I don't know where to rank them. I don't mind American Werewolf in London. Great effects in it. Was never a fan of The Howling. Does have great effects, but I'm not a fan of the story. Characters. The story of the characters really did nothing for me. If it was truly about the serial killer, and the serial killer was a werewolf, and maybe D. Wallace pairs with a cop, and if the cop was played by, I don't know, Robert Forster or something, that'd be pretty cool, and that'd be more my type of movie. Like Robert Forster and D. Wallace, and Robert Forster's a cop, and D. Wallace is a victim, and you think it's a serial killer, but you realize the serial killer is also a werewolf, so a werewolf being a serial killer. And that's kind of what you have a little bit here, because the werewolf, people might be disappointed that's not a full-blown transformation. It's a guy who's a bit hairy, but when he changes and goes apeshit, it is like a serial killer going apeshit with werewolf tendencies. And I thought that made it a little bit different, a little bit interesting. And when stuff goes apeshit, there's some decent physical action bits. Decently brutal action bits. Now again, some of the gore is really crappy CGI. They should have just gone all out practical and nothing more. But I did like some of the physical stuff, like people being thrown about, and there's some wire work from people being hit and pummeled and thrown through windows, and then pretty much the second half is kind of a chase movie, where either it's attacking SWAT team members, or one of them gets scratched and they're slowly turning, and the cops, along with the lawyer and the guys, are trying to search for this. There's a bit where the werewolf jumps out and lands on all fours. Again, people may be disappointed because it's more of a humanoid with werewolf tendencies than a full-blown, which didn't bother me. Maybe they thought, let's do something a bit different where it's just, imagine Wolverine, Hugh Jackman, with Harry, but he's a werewolf, like a little bit of that nature. Like a hairy serial killer. And, despite some of the lame CG blood, didn't mind it. It went fast, it went quick, it was fun. It was better than I thought it would be. Like I said, the acting was decent enough and competent enough. It's not insane action, but it's... Again, for a film that I went in thinking, oh guys, the guys did The Devil Inside, and a lot of werewolf films suck, I thought it was pretty decent. But I mean, to get more into spoilers, of course, when the doctor guy, Gavin, when he gets scratched, he's going to turn eventually, so that's predictable. Just waiting for that to happen. Like I said, there are bits where they tie him down and this type of epileptic seizure thing happens and he goes crazy and kills everybody in the room. One of them has the idea, has something to do with the full moon. What did they call it? The lunar effect. It's about how the moon affects water and 60% of our body is water. I'm like, okay, I guess I see where you're getting at. I guess that's a different take on a werewolf movie. I mean, it doesn't feel like the same old, same old. Again, this is a spoiler section. The cops are chasing Talon down, and while Gavin is turning and confronts Talon's mother, and is like, what's happened to me? And she's acting like a bitch, so fucking Dr. Gavin puts a mud hole in her face, punches a mud hole through her, punches her soul out, pretty much. And once in a while, there's a decent practical effect. There's a character that gets their chin, this whole thing torn off. I didn't mind that effect. There's a bit of a werewolf versus werewolf fight in the water. Some decent, decent stunt work. I mean, for a film I knew nothing about that went pretty much straight to video. Like I said, I don't know why it was this found footage but not found footage quality. They thought it would be more documentary stuff. I don't know why. It was just a bit weird. The ending, I wasn't 100% sold on. Super spoilers. Gavin's fighting Talon. They're both these humanoid werewolves. Gavin chokes the shit out of Talon. Seems like Talon's dead. Walks up. I like the moment where she has the gun, grabs her gun, puts it to his head. The cops are assholes. They shoot her. So he gets pissed, kills some of the SWAT guys, and this really ugly looking shot where he throws something and it hits the helicopter, and you see like I guess a camera on the helicopter going in and out, going in and out. And it just looked cheap with the camera feed going in and out. And then there's like Gavin there, and there's like a helicopter over here, and there's like a shitty CGI fire explosion thing. It looked really cheap. It really chintzy. Like the budget is really showing on that day. And then the girl survives, and she's in the hospital, and Gavin, I guess, because it's not the full moon. Sorry, that's my computer. I guess, he's fine, he's doing an interview, and it says Talon's body was never found. And there's all these news reports of people dying and getting killed and disappearing. And then pretty much Dr. Gavin says, I believe Talon is out there and he's a werewolf. And it's one of those things where, number one, are we meant to believe it's Talon still doing these killings? Or are we meant to believe Talon died because it looked like Gavin fucking choked the shit out of him and killed him? But if he didn't kill him, that's lame that didn't... There's no ending to that story. But if he did kill him, why should there not be a body found? You think there would have been a body found? Or what? Did Gavin take the girl to the hospital? Did he take Talon's body and hide him? Is the Dr. Gavin guy doing the killing? That's why all these people are missing on these news reports. Is Dr. Gavin doing all the killing? Are they both doing the killing? Again, if Talon's dead, how come they can't find the body? If Talon's alive, that's just kind of lame that story didn't really end. But now you got two werewolves. If they had a thing where Talon, like they see like pictures were taken, but then you have like, oh well, we also have conflicting reports of this beast saved some people. Maybe like Dr. Gavin, because of his humanity to care for this girl. Maybe Dr. Gavin is saving people while Talon is killing people. Like if they incorporate any of that could have been maybe interesting. Whether you want to set up a sequel or not. But the ending just left a lot of questions. Like, is it Gavin killing these people? Is it Talon still alive and killing these people? Again, if Talon's dead, why was the body not found? Did Gavin take the body, I don't know, eat him, chew him up, bury him, stick him up his ass? Is Gavin, when the girl gets better, what's Dr. Gavin going to do? Is he going to go back to the U.S.? Is he going to try to kill himself? He's going to... Seems like he's ready to... I don't know. Like I say, it just leaves a lot of questions. And it just wasn't that satisfying. So, I can't say I was I wasn't gun-ho about the... It's found footage, but not found footage. I wasn't gun-ho by some of the CGI blood or the helicopter bit at the end. Looked really cheap. At the final moments, I wasn't really satisfied. Just, again, left a lot of questions to me. But I thought it went at a good pace. I thought the setup, the story was interesting enough to make it feel different compared to other werewolf films. I was surprised by the different take on a werewolf. That was more like humanoid type of werewolf. I thought the acting was decent enough. I didn't think the acting was bad. And when the little bits of brutal action bits happened, they were decent to watch. They were kind of fun. Like there's a bit in a barn where Talon is walking on the banisters and you're leaping them. There's some good stunt work here and there in certain pieces of the film. Overall, I think it's one of the more decent werewolf movies. Yeah, it's not a piece of shit. I mean, if you want to look at a piece of shit werewolf film, look at Cursed. I love Wes Craven, but he got fucked over in the making of that film, and Cursed is a piece of shit. Like, that's a shitty werewolf film. I can't remember the last werewolf film I had seen before this one. I can't remember. They don't really make a lot of werewolf films anymore. Because a lot of them weren't good, but this one I didn't mind. Like, if I did I don't know if I could find 10. But if I did a top 10, I'd put it on there. Dog Soldiers is better. Late Phases, Full Eclipse, Bad Moon. Mr. Wolf and Lynn would put better than this. But if you like werewolf films and you want to see a decent one, again, I know it's directed by the guys who did The Devil Inside, but trust me, it's a lot better than that movie. A lot better. So, the fact those guys made a halfway decent film, I don't know, you need a cookie or something. So, with that said, thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.